Hello, welcome to another video. So today we're going to give our final thoughts on RoboLinux. If you remember when we spun the Distro Spinner wheel last week, it gave us RoboLinux. The week before that it gave us Salient, and then the week before that it gave us Voyager. The reason why I'm mentioning the other two is because, so I'm going to start with Voyager. When I did the Voyager one, I remember coming out of the video and then going into my Discord and sort of being like, I don't think this is, that great, guys. I think it's kind of just an Ubuntu clone with a few extensions and themes, and then that's it. However, spending a bit more time with it, I came away with a different opinion. There was the Box Voyager app that lets you control quite a lot in the sort of distribution and the way it's set up, and I thought if you build on top of that, it will sort of be a distinguishing factor of that distribution that's not on another distribution, and would make it would set it apart from a lot of these other distributions that use a sort of a base and don't change too much, right? And in Salient, of course, based on Arch, but there's loads of work done on the Salient distribution. There's and it's packaged and it comes out as a very solid, good distribution. However, with RoboLinux, I don't want to be too overly critical, because this is someone's hard work that they've done, etc., etc., and people that use it might be like, oh, what? That's the distribution I use. But I will be critical when I need to be of certain things, because I think if we're always just sort of saying that's amazing, that's great, and we're not really being critical. I know we all love Linux, but there's certain times when you do have to criticize things if they're just not good. Yeah. So with RoboLinux, the defining the sort of differentiating factor here was meant to be this whole stealth VM thing. And what I thought this was going to be was a script that would sort of load up a terminal, and it would go through a series of VBox manage create commands. So if you use VirtualBox, you'll probably know that you can create most of your sort of virtual machine settings and control it from a terminal. So I thought what was going to happen here is clicking this icon would pop open a terminal, and it would go through the series of commands necessary to create a virtual machine with the optimal settings for Windows. And I think there is value to that, and I think that's a good idea. However, when you click this link, this happens. So a terminal, okay, that's fine, oh no, what? Now loading the RoboLinux Stealth VM for Series 10 download web page. Okay, well, maybe it needs to download something additional, that's fine. Then you're greeted with this page here. How to download and install Stealth VM and C drive to VM. You got to this page because you want to install XP 7 or 10 into a Linux operating system such as RoboLinux, Linux Mint, or Ubuntu, or some other distribution, so you can use Windows-only software application virus-free inside Linux. Simply make a $25 donation to RoboLinux, and Robo will send you an email and ask you for a tech support appointment time. Okay. Most, if not all, users need help in order to run Windows virus-free inside Linux, especially new users. For a start, that's not quite true. A simple tutorial will probably get most people where they need to be to do this. But I don't like the way it's emphasizing new users, as if this is where you need to go if you're a new user, and we'll do it all for you, and it's worth the money because you couldn't possibly do it on your own. I don't like that. Okay, I don't think you're teaching anyone anything there, and I also don't think $25 is a reasonable amount of money to ask to set up a virtual machine, even if you are sort of supplying additional software, if you like, to get there. I still don't think that that's a reasonable amount of money to ask for this sort of service. I'm sure he's giving you remote tech support or whatever, but personally for me, I don't think this is the way to do it. Okay, the way I did say before, I think, was a better model of doing it. So if you want to do that, set up a script and let it do it automatically. Don't have a load of links inside, because they all do the same thing. Don't have a load of links inside your application launcher that essentially lead you to a web page that is paywalled. Okay, I don't think this does any good for sort of the Linux overall. I don't think this is a good look, right? So again, I'm not always overly critical of Linux, because again, I love Linux and I want it to flourish. But when I see things like this, it kind of annoys me a bit. And I'll tell you why, right? So I've got nothing against paying or contributing, donating, whatever descriptor you want to use for monetary exchanges towards something for Linux. I've done all of that. I've donated to projects I personally feel good. I've bought products or whatever that are loaded with Linux. I've done my bit to contribute towards the whole Linux ecosystem in terms of money. Yeah, I have nothing against money changing hands for something that is well worth it and is a good contribution to the overall landscape. Okay, I've got no issue with that, so that's not where why I'm concerned is that it's using this sort of language, sort of like virus free, not all users can do this, and new users, and it kind of feels almost predatory towards people that are sort of getting their feet wet into Linux, and then they're opening this up like, oh look, he's going to set it all up for me, and it's like, I couldn't possibly do this on my own. You can, okay, you definitely can. It's not that hard. And if anyone thinks it's super hard, let me know in the comments and I'll make a tutorial, yeah? Or we'll make a tutorial of how to set up your Windows into a virtual machine in the perfect way. There's various tutorials out there if you need one that will help you do that. But again, so with this, you're not really learning anything. You're exchanging money for something that you could probably do on your own without having to sort of struggle too much. So apart from that, what differentiates this distribution from another one? Because as you can see here, it's built on top of Ubuntu. It's using the Bionic repos here. It has got another repo here for Cinnamon. Okay, fine. And then you're getting here, so if you go into installers now, we're also littered with installer links to programs like here. I don't think this is all necessary. I don't think we need it. Let me know what you think. And again, like, so there's so many of these icons that are just opening up web pages. I don't like it, and I don't agree with it, and I don't think this is a valuable contribution towards the whole Linux environment, and that's just my thoughts on it. So I'm sorry that if this is the distribution you use. I'm sorry for the developers if they watch this video and they're like, what? How dare you? You know, you're welcome to change my mind. But for me, this Linux distribution hasn't done enough, and in fact it goes a bit too far in certain aspects to get people to use it. I don't think that they're offering something amazingly mind-blowing that you couldn't get from another distribution. And the stealth VM thing, I thought was a good idea if they have done the things that I thought they were going to do. However, the way it's set up, it leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Like I said, the money thing is not the issue here. If it was worth the money and it was providing a valuable service, then that would be totally fine. But I don't feel that it is. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. That's probably the most critical I've ever been of a Linux distribution. So sorry guys, but thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'll be doing the Distro Spinner wheel later on this evening. Hopefully we get a bit better luck of what distribution it gives us. Bye bye.